let the throttle eat off the line, and I think it even power wheelied a little bit.
Perfect.
What's the first thing you do when you buy a motorcycle? Replace the exhaust.
Duh.
Nobody wants to sound like a sewing machine buzzing around. They want to sound like a real motorcycle. Now, when I had my Rebel 300, I opted to go for one of the more expensive name brand exhausts and put the Two Brothers exhaust on it. It sounded great, but the $400+ price tag was kind of hard to swallow. This time around, when I bought the 500, I wanted to leave room for other modifications instead of blowing all my money on the exhaust. So that led me on the hunt to find the cheapest exhaust I could, which brought me to the Radiant Cycles Shorty GP exhaust. Lots of people have the exhaust, but it's kind of hard to tell from videos how it sounds. So today we're on a quest to install it and see.
Does it suck?
So today, real quick, I'm going to show you how to throw it on. Then we'll get a decibel reading from the stock exhaust with no exhaust and with the Shorty GP to see if the Shorty GP even makes that big of a difference. And then we'll take it for a ride and see how it sounds. Now, removing the stock exhaust is super easy. You have a 12mm bolt here and a 12mm bolt here for the clamp holding it onto the headers. I'm just removing this so that I can keep this bracket for when I install my passenger pegs. If you're not planning on using passenger pegs, you can just remove this entire bracket since the new exhaust won't need it, and you just remove it with the two bolts right here, which are both 6mm Allen keys. And with that one loosened, it should just pop off now. Now you can see here there's no exhaust gasket on the header. That's because mine stayed in the stock muffler. If you see any kind of gasket here, you can go ahead and remove that because the GP exhaust will not need to use that gasket. All right, now let's go ahead and take this out and get a first look at it. I haven't even opened this thing yet. All right, it actually looks surprisingly good. The finish on it looks good. Got some semblance of a baffle in there. Who knows how much it'll actually do, but overall the quality looks pretty good. Just as lots of people have said, I kind of wish that this clamp was black too, but I'm sure you could always paint that or get a different one. All right, looks good. Let's throw it on. All right, so this bad boy just slips right onto the header pipe and then has that right there that you need to tighten. Only word of caution is that in the instructions it said it's a 10mm. It's actually an 11mm. But that'll just slide right on and then you tighten it down. If it's anything like mine was, you actually have to loosen that in order to get it to slide on, but then we should be good to go. All right, so there she is, looking good. One of the first things I notice is actually the fact that when this slides on, it's nice and tight. Even the Two Brothers exhaust that I spent like $400 on, it was super loose here. This fits nice and snug. It doesn't call for any sealant or exhaust gasket, anything like that. If you feel better about it, I'm sure you could put some sealant in there, but I'm not going to. As you can see, it doesn't use this bracket at all. That's why I was saying if you don't plan to use passenger pegs, you can just remove that entirely. Doesn't stick out too far. I may change the angle on it a little bit, maybe angle it down or whatever, but overall I'm really impressed for 60 bucks. I have my trusty decibel meter app that I used for my Two Brothers exhaust video with the 300. We're going to use it again here, and we're going to test the max decibels for the stock muffler, no muffler, and with the Shorty GP. I have it on the seat because I figure that's where you're going to be sitting when you're riding, so we'll see how it sounds from the rider seat. All right, so first up is the stock exhaust. Hopefully you can see here the stock exhaust maxed out at 94.7 decibels. All right, now let's get a baseline of the decibels with no muffler. This is just to see how much the Shorty GP exhaust is actually going to do. All right, yeah, holy crap. So that got up to 111 decibels max, and when I started it up, it was actually at about the max decibels from revving up the stock exhaust already. So with no muffler, just it idling was as loud, if not louder, than the stock exhaust revved all the way up. Now the moment everybody's been waiting for. How loud is it, and does it suck? All right, so the max reading we got off of that was 113 decibels. That's actually louder than what the bike put out with no muffler on it at all. Although I will say, I think I revved it a little bit higher just to see what it sounded like. When I was just kind of getting into it a little bit, it was only at like 109, so it was still slightly quieter than with no muffler on. I'm not gonna lie, I am pleasantly surprised with how that sounds for only 60 bucks. It's about as loud as what it is with no muffler, but it sounds better. It's actually reading quieter than the Two Brothers exhaust did on the 300, which is a full muffler. Of course, with the 300, the cat is removed when you remove the muffler, so that could have something to do with it. But the 300, because the cat was removed, also droned a lot and was really, really loud when you were riding. Hopefully that's not the case with this, but I guess we'll hop on the road and find out. So the question that we're trying to find the answer to, albeit subjectively, is does this exhaust suck? And so far the answer to that is no. For 60 bucks, the finish seems to be really good. It actually fits better than the $400 Two Brothers exhaust that I got for the bike. But we've also only ever heard it revved up sitting in my parking lot. So let's see how it sounds riding around. Ooh, sketchy, sketchy, sketchy. Ooh, yeah. Me likey. Alright, so cruising at 55 in 5th gear, it's definitely loud, but not anywhere close to what my Rebel 300 would have sounded like cruising at this speed. It's absolutely bearable. Ooh. You hear that pop? Alright, time to see how she is on the highway. Man, this is a lot better than I could have hoped for. That sounds so good, decelerating. All right, so from this quick little shakedown test, I can say that so far it is a lot better than I expected. I let the throttle eat off the line, and I think it even power wheelied a little bit. You do not get that out of the 300. This bike is so freaking fun. All right, so based off of my quick little shakedown run, this is probably the best 60 bucks you can spend on the Rebel 500. It wakes the bike up. It's nice and loud, but it's not obnoxious. That pop when you decelerate is so nice. So yeah. To answer the question, does it suck? The answer is no. Is it the best exhaust you can get for the bike? No, but I'd say dollar for dollar, it might be. So once again, this is the Radiant Cycles Shorty GP exhaust for the Rebel 500. I'll leave a link in the description so that you can check it out for yourself. And of course, make sure to go ahead and subscribe. I just got this bike a few days ago, and as bad as it is, I've already spent about 900 bucks in parts for the bike so far, and I'm going to be making videos for each of the mods that I do to it and doing comparison videos of this versus the 300 and all kinds of stuff that I'm super excited to get to. So make sure you smash that subscribe button so that you don't miss out. If this video helped you out and you got anything from it, of course, make sure to smash the like button as well, and we will catch you on the next one. Peace!